Everybody, welcome back to Pushing Pixels, the Illustrator Edition. We are going to make this donut that we made in class. So let's get started. That's the guy we made in class. So let's get started here. First thing we're going to do is I gave you guys all of the colors here. I made little squares for you. So let's put those in our swatches palette over here. So I'm going to use my black arrow and select all of them. And then I'm going to go to this cheeseburger right here. I'm going to turn on my visualizer so you can see where I'm clicking. There we go. So in the swatches palette here, I'm going to go to the cheeseburger right here and click and hit add new color group. And I'm going to name this, I'll just name it donut just for the sake of argument. And I'm just going to hit selected artwork. That's all I want right now. And click OK. And it will populate my swatches palette with all those colors. Click. And there they are. We'll come back to those. I'm going to keep these going here too, just in case I just want to pick from those. All right, so let's start making our donut. Let's set our foreground color to, I'm going to hit the eyedropper tool, I, and I'm going to set it to, let's set it to this darker brown color right here. All right, so there it is in our foreground down there. And I'm going to go to shapes. I'm going to grab an ellipse tool, and I'm going to make sure I got my ellipse tool selected, and I'm just going to click once anywhere. I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to get this guy, and it should say pixels. So I'm going to hit 600 pixels by 600 pixels and click OK. If you have inches in here, you'll need to go up to the rulers and right click on them and change it to pixels. So turn your rulers on and just change it to pixels. All right, and then you'll have pixels here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit V, and I'm going to move this up here. All right, so we got our main shape of our donut, but we need to put a hole in it. So we're going to do a path offset, and that is right here. So I'm going to select it and go to Object, Path, Path Offset. And I also wrote a hotkey for myself, so I may hit that later. But Path Offset is right here under Object. All right, and then we're going to offset this. I think we did minus 175. And when I do that, yeah, there we go. What if I did minus 185? Probably 175 is good. Minus 175, and it's contracting my selection inside here, and it will make a brand new circle right here on top of my old one. So when I click OK, it has done that. Now you can't see it because they're the same color and they're standing on top of each other, but it is there. It's right there. All right. So now we got to get that hole to happen. So I'm going to select them both with my my black arrow here. Okay, my selection tool, or hit V, either or. I usually end up hitting V. And we're going to Pathfinder wherever you have your Pathfinder loaded. If you don't see it, you can just go to Window and turn on Pathfinder. It is there. I just have it docked. I have mine docked right here. All right, and we are going to use the second Pathfinder tool, minus front, so make sure those are selected, and hit minus front, and it is going to chop that hole out for us. And not bad, right? Looks pretty good. We're already off to the races. Let's change our foreground color again. I'm going to hit I, hit the eyedropper, and I'm going to pick this dark purple, whatever you want to call this, right there. So that's my foreground color now. And then I'm going to swing over here, and under the brush tool, I'm going to click and hold it till I see the pencil tool populate, and I'm going to grab the pencil tool. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to make all this little frosting right here, just like this guy. So I'm going to start right about here, just below the middle, and I'm just going to sort of swoop in, and I'm going to follow the angle of the donut here. And then I'm going to come all the way on the outside with my pencil tool. And I'm going to make sure that little circle pops up so it closes. All right, so there you go. It looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go back to my eyedropper tool again, and I'm going to click that purple thing, and it will turn it purple. Pretty cool, right? There it is. I am going to do something real quick here because I don't want to get that going. I'll lock that. There we go. All right, so so now we have these two elements going. We have our original donut, and we have that weird frosting shape, right, that I didn't do a very good job on. But yeah, let me take one more shot at it. So it doesn't look so horrible. Maybe not be so generous with the curves. There we go. Let's try that one. Close it. And I'm going to set my eye and click. There we go. Yeah, I like that a lot better. All right, so now we have to get rid of all this excess stuff that's outside the donut. And we also have to get rid of the frosting that's on the inside of the donut. So we're going to use another tool. I'm going to select them again with my selection tool, V, by the way. And we're going to use the Shape Builder tool. It's right here. It's kind of almost in the middle of your toolbar there. It says Shape Builder, okay? Or you can hit Shift M, which is what I always do. I hit Shift M, and it gets me into that tool. Now, I'm going to hold down my Alt key, okay? And you can see a little minus shows up on it, right? You can see a little minus symbol. And if I go on the outside here and just click inside there, or I can drag across it, it's going to delete it and get rid of it. I'm also going to do the same thing here in the middle. I'm still holding my Alt key, and I'm going to click in the middle, and I'm going to get rid of that. Pretty darn slick, right? Not too bad. All right, let's keep going here. We need to make the second level of frosting right here, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Instead of repathing that with the pencil tool, we're going to do another path offset. So hit V, grab your selection tool, select the frosting, and go to Path, Object Path, Path Offset, and we're going to probably do like -10, maybe -15. Yeah, let's do -15. All right. And while we still have it selected, I am going to hit I for my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to pick this color right there. Looks pretty nice. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see what's going on. But it looks a little bit too specific. It's actually following all the exact lines of the old one, so I kind of want to jumble it up a little bit and make it look like it's not so even and clean. And to do that, I'm going to use the warp tool. And the warp tool is underneath over here, the width tool. So you have to go to the width tool, hold down, and it's the first one under the width tool. It's warp. Shift R apparently is warp. I did not know that. So good to know. All right. So now that you have the warp tool, and make sure your frosting was selected, by the way, this new frosting, you can sort of go through now and kind of push some things around a little bit and adjust. Maybe I want that to look more like that, and maybe I want that closer to the other frosting's edge. And I'm just going to sort of reshape some things so it doesn't look exactly like it did before. I'll fix that corner. And maybe come up here and pull some edges and things like that, so it's not so clean looking and it looks nice and organic as opposed to how it looked before. And I'll fix that corner here in a minute. Oh, that fixed nicely all by itself. And maybe I'll pull this out just a little bit more and that down there just a little bit. That looks a little weird to me right there. There we go, not so bad. All right, so we can clean this up just a little bit. There's some janky edges around here and things like that. I'm going to go back to my pen tool and hold it down, and I'm going to grab the smooth tool, okay? This guy right here, it's very smooth. So I'm going to select that, and when you use the smooth tool, you can just drag over some points and just start cleaning up a little bit, and it'll start smoothing things out a little bit and refining your edges. And let's do that one, and I'm not too excited about this guy right here, so that one definitely needs to be fixed. And let me see, that's pretty good. I'm not too horrified. I don't like that. I'm going to go to my white arrow here, my direct selection tool, and I'm just going to pull that corner a little bit. Come on. Let's see if I can get over there. Not working for me too much. Let me see. There we go. That's a bit of a corner, a little bit better. Keep smoothing a little bit. It's not great, but my heart's in the right place. All right, so we have our second layer of frosting, looking pretty good, right? Let's do a third layer of frosting. Again, let's just do another path offset. I'm going to select that frosting we just worked on and go up to Path, Object Path Offset. Yeah, we could do let's do -10 this time. I don't remember what we did in class, all right? And let's change the color of that to one of these pinks, eyedropper tool, and maybe, let's do, yeah, Yeah, let's do this pink right here. Let's go with that. And again, I'm going to go back to my warp tool, which apparently is Shift R. It is Shift R. And I'm going to grab, make sure I have it selected, by the way, and I'm going to go Shift R. And I'm going to start pulling some of these points again so it doesn't look so, so it looks a little bit more organic and things like that. Okay. Like that, and maybe those run into there, and maybe this goes here like that, and that goes there. I'm going to pull these out just a little bit so it doesn't look like it's the exact same thing I just did, and maybe push that out a little bit. I kind of like the fact that that's that way, and that looks a little bit too much the same. We'll fix that with our other tool. There we go. Let's try that. I'm going to go back to my smooth tool again. Hey, Chad. I'm going to go back to my smooth. Why is he sending me that? I'm going to go back to my smooth tool again underneath the pencil. And I'm going to grab these edges a little bit and clean them up. I'm just sliding it over and over here. That corner is fighting me a little bit, to be quite honest with you. But that's illustration. It's a work in progress. I'm just going to go right here like so and like so, and that clearly, there we go. That's not too bad. How about that? Better, not better, better. Let's keep that. I'm not gonna keep screwing with it. All right, and this guy right here, maybe that guy. There we go. Much better. All right, now the other thing I'm going to do is that's looking pretty good actually. Let's do a final, I don't know if you can see them, these little tiny blotches. I do have that layer locked. Let me unlock it. These little blotches right here. Okay, so let's just build all of those real fast. And that's random. New tool, we're going to grab the paintbrush tool. This guy right here. If you hit B, you'll get to brush. And I am going to pick that other pink right here, the second to the last one. You're going to do that guy. And with my brush, I'm literally just going to, oh, maybe the other one. Is it this guy? Let's find out. It's one of these two. Tell you what, let's pick this guy right here, this white guy, this fourth one. Let's try that. B, brush. I'm going to just randomly make some shapes, and I'm going to make sure I close them up a little bit. Oh, I see why I'm doing it, because I'm doing it on the wrong layer. That's right. So maybe we do want this second to last pink. Let me check real quick. Yeah, let's do that. Second to last pink, I'm going to block that. Second to last one, I'm going to hit my eyedropper, pick this guy right here. All right, back to brush, B and I. It's going to be tough to see these spots because they're almost the same color. So I'm just going to make a few of these around and just some odd shapes, nothing too crazy. And I'm going to make sure I try to close these up a little bit. These are kind of just maybe highlight patches of frosting. Here perhaps, maybe one here, and perhaps there's one here. All right, I'm going to close them all. Just like that. They're tough to see, but it doesn't matter because we're going to invert them anyway. Back to our selection tool, V, and let's pick every one of those things we just made. That guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. They're all selected. I don't want them stroked. I want them filled. So since I have them all selected, I'm just going to go down here to where the fill and the stroke are on your toolbar at the bottom here. And I'm going to click that little swap arrow right there. Swap, fill, and stroke right there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there above your color blocks. And I'm going to click that, and there we go. It's hard to see. You can barely see them, but they are there. All right, let's do these little white patch highlights right now, okay? Kind of going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my paintbrush, and I'm going to make sure this is this hot pink, or this white pink is my foreground color first. So select your eyedropper and pick that color, and then go back to brush, B, and again, I'm just going to paint some spots around, okay? That one wasn't good at all. Let's do that. We're going to just do some highlight patches here, all right? And maybe there's one there, and maybe there's one here, just a tiny one there, and maybe just, I'm putting them on the previous spots where I had them before. All right, so I got a few of those. Back to V, we're going to go back to selection, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select them all, okay? and go back over here to swatches and swap the stroke for the fill. And just like that, I have my little highlights like I have them over there for my donut. It's not looking too bad. Let's do this highlight right here too on top of the donut. I did that the same way. So let's pick a color, eyedropper. Let's pick that lighter brown, whatever you want, that beigeish. That's our fill. Back to brush, B. And I'm literally just going to go through here and paint some parts. I'm going to try to follow this a little bit. I don't want to follow it too closely though. I wanted to keep it sort of organic. Here, I'm going to follow this one a little bit closer. Depends on how you drew yours. There we go. So I had two of those. Again, back to V. Select, and then swap the stroke for the fill over here on your toolbar. There you go. That bottom one looks a little janky, right? Maybe I'll get the smooth tool out and clean that up. Or maybe I won't. Maybe what I will do is I will repaint it. Grab my paintbrush again and take another shot at it. Boing. Okay. Looks a little bit better. V, swap the... no, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. Grab that guy. Swap him out. Click. And click. There we go. Not too bad. I am going to use this warp tool a little bit. I'm going to use the warp tool. Was it Shift R? There we go. Look at me. You're already using my hotkey. And I'm going to just adjust this just a little bit so it's not so... So it's a little more organic looking and not so crazyville. There we go. All right, nice. We're making headway here, people. Let's do this final thing. We're going to add all these little sprinkles. Those are those three colors, are these two colors, and I also used a white. So let's do that. I'm going to zoom in to about the size I want my sprinkle to be. And I'm going to, before I do that, I'm just going to select this blue real quick, okay? And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to hit, believe it or not, I'm going to hit a rectangle tool, rectangle. So I'm going to go to shape, rectangle here, right? And I'm going to draw out a sort of vertical rectangle about the size I want my sprinkle to be. I think that's probably going to be it. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on it so I can see it a little bit better. All right, now you can see I have these little circles, these tiny little dots inside my my rectangle. And if I go to my select tool up there, my black arrow, I can grab one of those little dots, any one, and if I pull it inside, it's going to round off my my sprinkle there. And I'm going to put one out here on the side just so I have one to select. All right, so I got my little blue sprinkle, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start grabbing one. I'm copying one actually. Wait, edit, redo. Thank you. Undo, cut. There we go. So I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to hold down my Alt key, and I'm going to click and drag out a brand new one. And then I'm just going to rotate it. You can just, once your arrow turns to a curve, you can grab that thing and rotate it. And then maybe I'll put one here, and then maybe I'll put one here, and keep rotating, right? Keep going. And then maybe I want this one down here. I'll rotate that. And I'm just going to keep going until I am loaded up with sprinkles. And then maybe I might take this guy right here. I'll select him and give my eyedropper tool, and click that color. And then maybe I'll sprinkle some yellow ones around my donut. And I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to bore you with that, how I'm doing that, but that's pretty much how you do it. And do it till you have a proper looking donut that looks something like that. Very nice, simple illustration to do. No big deal. Practice it a couple times if you want. Make a couple donuts. Use some different colors and things like that, and just get a feel for it. I've done this so many times, I almost do it instinctually. So try to make another donut. Use some different colors if you want, or reuse these. It doesn't matter. But fill those out and get comfortable using all these tools that I just showed you. The warp tool, shapes, the smooth tool, the pencil tool, and just go through it like that and figure out, don't forget shape builder as well, and build yourself a nice looking donut. All right, that's pretty simple. take your time. Go back and rewind if you need to. I know that was pretty quick. I try to keep these videos kind of short if I can so they don't drag on. And good luck. Talk to you soon.